Yo, what is up you guys? My name is Burd, and today we are going to be doing a transition tutorial. But real quick, I'm just going to do a quick update. The reason I haven't been uploading is because I've had a ton of edits that I've done around, not a ton, like 2. I did a dualtage and then I did an introducing episode, but both of those were scratched because of problems. I can't really go into it, but you will see them eventually when the real episodes come out. So yeah, on other news, the 0.4K Minecraft contest is going great. I've been seeing tons of submissions, and those are all due tomorrow, so get them in if you haven't, and the results will be up in around a day or 2. The Q&A, I don't even know if I'm going to be doing the Q&A. I might do it for 500, and because I'll probably get a lot more questions, because a lot of them are really, so we had some really good questions, and then I had some really, I'm not going to say stupid, just dirty questions, I guess, that I didn't want to answer. So if you guys could give me real questions next time, that'd be great, but let's just hop right into the tutorial. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to do tons of different transitions. We're going to be learning the film rolling transition, the slide transition, where it's like something just comes off from the side, and a couple others that I have just not made because they've been used before, but like experimented and used myself. So let's move in our first clip, which is going to be this terminal clip. Then we're going to move in our second one. What we're going to do is, depending on how fast or slow you're going to be, you're going to have to choose this for yourself, but I'm going to make mine around, let's say this is going from 50 frames to, going from around 53 frames to like 30 frames. So that is, let's just snap that to here. To snap something to somewhere, you press Alt and then bracket. So Alt bracket. Wait, no, you just press bracket to bring something. Alt bracket is like to cut something down. Alright, so we're going to make it around, yeah, 20 frames seems good. So let's bring this to here. So I'm going to make my transition around 20 seconds. So we're going to start off with the film roll transition. Now to do this, layer, new, and adjustment layer. And we're going to bring this above both the clips and cut it down around right where you're, where it's starting. So Alt, bracket, and the brackets are the little things right above the enter key and stuff like that. You'll see them. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into your effects and presets and type in offset and bring in your offset onto the adjustment layer. So depending on how big you want the transition to be, we're going to keyframe the offset. Make sure you're on your adjustment layer, go up to here, keyframe your offset, the shift center to there, and then go to the very end of it, right around here. And what you're going to want to do, this controls left and right, and this controls up and down. So if you want to do a left to right transition, rolling transition, then you use that. But if you want to do up and down like most people do, then it's that. So to make it just go a ton of times instead of having to drag it out, what you can do is do times 11, and we'll bring it all the way around. There you go. So this is already the beginnings of the transition. Obviously it's not going to look like this. Something that helps, enable motion blur, right here, click on this thing, and then enable motion blur in these two, and we're going to add some more blur later and it'll look much cleaner. So, the next thing we're going to do is, on your second clip, hit T for opacity, and go to around the middle area. Keyframe at 100, then go forward a little bit. No, my bad. Keyframe at 0, sorry. And then near here or so, bring it back up to 100, so there's just this fade in throughout it. So there you go. And it fades out near the end. So that it's not as, like, you know what I mean. You know why I'm doing this. Bring that probably right around here, and then the middle is where it's going to change. The next thing we want to do is drop down this adjustment layer, drop down the effects, and drop down the offset. Click on Shift Center 2, Graph Editor, and make sure that all your settings are the same as mine with your Graph Editor so that it's showing this. If it's showing this, don't even worry about it. Click on the first point and drag it all the way down to the bottom. Keep it on the same point that it was at, and drag down this point all the way to the bottom. And then what we're going to do is take these and drag them out, depending on how this represents. This graph editor represents how fast and how slow something is going. So here, watch the video and watch the thing. See, right now it's going slow, then boom, it goes fast, and then out to slow. It just sort of eases it in. That's why it's like, it's really cool. So depending on how fast or slow you want something to go, you'd use this. So I like around there. Actually, I'm gonna bring that out slower near the end. So now that we have that, and you can change that right here. So if you move these 2 points out, it'll drag it out or make it slower. So next thing we're gonna do, we're almost done actually, is we're going to add directional blur to this. So type in directional, and you should have directional blur. Click on here. You're gonna keyframe the blur length at the beginning. Then right at the middle, keyframe the blur length to however much you want it to be. So I'm going to make it around there. So, as you can already see, it's looking nice. And then at the very end, when it stops, right around there, back down to 0. So now if we go ahead and we preview that, I'm going to bring down my render area. Go ahead and preview that. It looks really nice. So obviously that's really fast, but you can drag it out, so I'll show you how to do that real quick. So if I wanted mine to be much longer, what I do is I would go ahead and I would bring down my offset drop down again. And boom, we can just drag it out. So now it'll go much slower, but what we'd want to do is bring this obviously out more around there. And then the motion blur, the directional blur is still all weird as well. Let's bring that to the beginning, then middle, and end. If you want to just bring everything together, Control A or Command A if you're on Mac or Windows, press M, click off, and now it will, you know. So there you go. There's the transition. So looking really nice. I really like the way that looks. I use it. It's overused, but I still use it. It's just a nice way to ease into the next clip. Alright, so the next transition we're going to learn is, the next couple are going to be very simple, but they just look cool. So the next one we're going to use, we're going to go ahead and we're going to delete that, and wait, nothing else. Alright, there we go. So the next one is very simple. It's a simple scale, just pop in. Make sure that you have motion blur enabled for the next couple of these, because they have to have motion blur to look as cool as they're going to. So let's delete the opacity on this. Just have it at 100, make sure that you can see it, and it's not fading in. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have it like pop into the video. So to do this, we're going to have the scale at the very beginning be at 0. Let's bring the scale down to 0, and then by around there, bring that there, we'll have it be at 100. Very simple. All it does is boom. That's all it does. It's extremely easy to do and it looks cool. Or you can bring it down smaller and now it'll just like boom. It's very cool looking on like a bass beat or something like that. And what else you can do with it is you can so maybe I don't even want it to go to 100. I can add, maybe the beat is like doom doom. So what I do is right here, bring it to around 50%. So that's doom. And then the next beat is here, so I'd keyframe it at 50 again, and then 100 again. And I've actually used this a lot since I started messing around with it. So doom doom. Obviously that one's a bit too fast, but if you bring it out, so doom doom, looks really cool. And you just play around with it until it looks the way you want it to look. So let's delete that and let's go ahead and let's play with the position settings of this. So this is the next transition we're going to use. It's just a simple slide in. Honestly, if you know how to use After Effects, you know how to do these transitions. So we're going to keyframe the position, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to bring it out. So you can see that little point in the middle is going to show us where it is. We're going to bring it all the way out until the end of it is completely gone. So here, let's just... So now that we can't see it anymore, we know that it's out at least. So now what we're going to do... Oh, that would be why. Our scale is still at 0. Duh. Alright. So, bring your position all the way out. Keyframe there. And then, depending on how fast you want it to be, bring it back down to 640. Oh, crap. And make sure this is at 340. And it will... 360. Crap. Wait, what? Hold on. those are weird coordinates. Anyway, just make sure it goes back into that position right there. So the way that looks is like this. Boom, and it just slides in. A cooler way to make this look is with this round right here. Take the position, keyframe it here, and then as this moves in, have this one go out and follow with it. So you can bring this out with it. And this is one of my favorite transitions because it's so quick and it just looks really cool. So, boom, it finishes. Absolutely, it looks so cool. So let's bring it out there, and this is what it looks like. Doom. And you can bring it out as far as you want. You can bring it out, it doesn't really matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two, actually, because I want to see what it looks like farther out, and we're going to bring that out. It doesn't look as good when it's slow, but, I mean, you get the same effect. And you can do this up or down, right to side, depending on what you want the position to be. So I could make the position, I can make it just go up and down, so I can make it come in like that, or whatever. So it just depends on what you want it to look like. So the final transition I'm going to show you is my absolute favorite, and this one is definitely my favorite. It looks so clean, so perfect in every way, and you barely even notice that it happens. That's what's good about it. You barely notice that there's a transition, but it doesn't look like it's just changing to the next clip. You can tell something happened. So what we're going to need for this is we're going to need no plugins, if that's what you were thinking. We're going to need around 5 frames to work with for each one of them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go around, depending on how big you want it to be, I'm going to make mine 10 frames just to give you an idea of what it looks like. We're going to have our position and our scale both out at the same time. So hit P for position on your clip, and then hit Shift S for your scale, so you have them both up. I'm going to keyframe both here, go to the next frame, bring your scale up to around just a little bit, then bring the edge over here back over. So you should have something that looks like this, like it's going in. Next frame, same thing, position up, not a lot, because we're going to have to make this last all the way over to here, and bring it to the side, other way. Next frame, position up, scale up, bring the position over. So now it's have this like boom. Next frame, scale up, position to the side. Probably bring the scale down actually, there's a lot. There we go. Alright, next frame, scale up, position to the side. Next frame, I'm going to make this like the second to last frame because these are a lot of frames. Normally you only want to do this with around 5 frames, especially if you're doing something like a trick shot montage or something and you want it to be fast, and it looks like that. Now what you're going to do, bring this over here, have your clip right where that stops, and what you're going to want to do is basically just reverse all these keyframes so you can actually just copy them backwards. So this very last one, Command C, and then, so let's bring our scale up. Oh wait, no, never mind, you can't do that, because basically what you're going to do is have it come in from the other side. Hold on. So if you undo that twice, it'll bring this up. You're going to want this come in from this way now. So what you're going to do is keyframe, then bring your scale up to around, I don't know, 110, depending on what you want it to look like. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 7 frames. Next frame, scale up. Oh crap, my bad. Hold on. This is going to be your last frame or first frame, however you want to take it, because, alright, you see what I mean? It starts off big, then it goes in really far. So you're going to want this to start in really far and come out until it's really small. So this first frame is going to have to be like we'll make it the same, 177. Bring the position over. So the next frame, make the position around 160, and we'll bring it over. And we'll just keep going from there. Let's bring this down, 150, and then bring it over. As you can see, it's creating this effect going in and then going out, and it looks really cool. Just around 140, around that area. We're going to need 7 keyframes to finally get to 100. So just make it last. So around 120, so then bring it out. So that's 5, 6, 113. Don't have to copy the exact keyframes I'm doing. Then 100. Let's make that back to its normal 960. So now if we take a look at this, it looks cool. This is going to be much slower. When it's fast, it looks even better. Oh, no, that looked perfect. So you see that it barely happens? Oh, and the sound effect is beautiful as well. You can't hear it right now, but that sounded really cool. So it looks so good. And you can do this like into the corner and out. You can do this really however you want. Let's try that. Why not? So this first keyframe, second keyframe, let's bring the position up in the corner. But it's going up. I just want to see how this looks, so I'm going to mess around really quick. You don't even have to watch this part of the video. Let's just see how this looks. Last frame. Now what this looks like. Looks like it's moving into the corner. With some black bars over it. Now I'll have it come from down here. See, what you guys can do is you can completely and utterly experiment with your transitions. They're tons of fun to do, and they're extremely easy as well. See how that looks. Beautiful. Barely even noticeable, but it's so perfect. So, there is your tutorial for transitions. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's very simple. It's tons of fun to do. Experiment with your own. Give me some ideas. And request a new tutorial in the comments. Alright, you guys. I will talk to you later. See you guys later.